So when we last left the party, we had... Well, why don't you tell me what you guys recall from when the last time we left the party?
Steve was heading to Hammerhome.
Yes, good old Steve.
He had been fired, sort of, kind of, but I don't know if he knew he was fired.
I don't think he did.
Honestly, I'm not convinced of that either. But Raz did a good job in attempting to let him go easily and gently.
He's pretty rich. That's 2 weeks' pay. It's a good deal.
Doesn't need a home.
I'm sure there's a halfway house somewhere in Mulmaster that will take him in or kill him.
Other than that, all we really did was buy the place and talk about the party. At least that's all I remember.
Yeah, so you guys did end up buying the place. Go ahead. Oh, I thought somebody was about to say something. So yes, yeah, you guys did end up buying this place and dubbing it Bloodbath and Beyond Mulmaster Edition. And towards the end of it, you guys were met with you were stopped by and patroned by none other than Miss Saj herself, Mistress Saj, Astrid, who had heard about the turnover in the business and wanted to make sure that you guys were invited, the new ownership of the building, invited to her 10-day party that's going to start in a couple of days. And so as you're going through, you had a couple of days, I think we said between 2 or 3, so we're just going to say 3 days, to work on the shop or do whatever you want to do before this party began. So we did talk about some of these downtime activities, and I know I exchanged some chatter with both Gabe and Will regarding Eldon and Corin. So first off, Eldon, tell us a little bit about this Mastiff that you have picked up. We know that at one of the days, Eldon was wandering around and he found a stable or another animal like Steed and Feed that we used to have over in Oldenburg. But you found a shop similar to that had a Mastiff available. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Not to put you directly on the spot or anything. Unless we have lost him.
So I muted myself and started talking like I wasn't muted. So I'm sitting here saying, do I really have to go first? Because I was just looking up some things about the Mastiff so that I could name him. Forgot to name him earlier. So I'm going to go really original and call him Orin 2.
Worked for The Simpsons.
So let's call him Orin 2.
Orin also, or Orin the number 2, or just Orin? You're also calling him Orin. Yeah.
Yeah, with multiple entendres on that. It could mean any of it because it's a new Mastiff. I lost my old Mastiff. The previous one was named Orin, so Orin 2 would be as well the second.
At last check, Orin the First was left with some horses somewhere over by the tavern on the bluffs, never to be seen again.
Yeah, I'm not you could get too attached when this one gets trapped somewhere.
Yeah, so we're but anyway, so yeah, after finding a new mount, Eldon and Orin to take morning rides, pre-dawn rides out the gate and just to kind of get comfortable and used to each other. This ride tends to go out past the the what is it, falling up to pieces shrines that are out there of or Lathander. What's the one across the Hunters?
Oh, hang on.
See, made me go first.
Yeah.
So anyway, going out past these shrines, but also being very wary that Lathander is not is one of the what is it, the band or
No, it's
band
not.
gods.
He's not one of the. It's one of the tolerated gods, for lack of a better term.
Oh, that Lathander is tolerated.
I would say even if his shrine existed.
Well, okay.
So let's see here. The Untended Shrine is frequented by the poor. And it was across the way from the god of Malar, Malar, Malar the Beast Lord, the Hunter. And that shrine was usually empty. So Lathander is one of those places that it's not widely used. I'd say mostly by the poor that you have seen, and again, not as frequented because obviously Bane, the church, is predominantly over the city. So it's not out of the ordinary, but it is definitely uncommon for people to worship at that shrine.
Right. But yeah, also probably not wanting to draw too much attention to the fact that I'm going out there and praying to Lathander. It's the morning ride with Orin too, and going out there, doing my morning prayers as the sun comes up, and just kind of doing the morning routine. Keeping an eye out for what kind of activity goes on up in that area. Do I ever run into other than since it's other people who might be because that's the custom for Lathander is to pray at the morning sun.
So have you been doing this every day since you've been in Mulmaster?
Yeah, pretty much. As soon as I got Orin 2, and we were situated with places to stay and stuff like that, that would be a pretty standard.
Okay, well, I'd say you would probably run into one or two people over the course. If it's at the morning time, you would see a couple of poor people coming through and paying their respects and doing their morning prayers. If you ran into somebody, and when you did, would you say that Eldon would have attempted to communicate with them, or just kind of the whole nod and wave?
It would be kind of the nod and pray and just kind of maybe ask what, say good morning and how are you doing and how are things in the area, just kind of the small talk about the area, about their commonality of coming up and praying in the morning.
Okay. So do we want to get into this, or is this something you want to explore?
Sure.
All right. So let's give me just a second.
I mean, if there's like something that I guess, can become of it.
If nothing else, maybe just a friendly contact. So let's go with that. So we'll say one of the mornings that Eldon gets out here to the shrine of Lathander, there's this you run across this female human, and we will call her Delgath because that's how I roll. And she's doing, and she looks to be, she looks to be one of these, again, of the poor, maybe trying to get into the militia. You see her with her, this shoddy shield kind of strapped to her back, this, splintered wood and everything, and kind of this just ratty, rusted armor. Her hair's all kind of akimbo, just kind of all wisping in the winds, but she's sitting there, and as you look over there and nod, she makes eye contact with you briefly because she's still, kind of one shocked to see somebody else at her shrine, and kind of steer, a little back. She, a little nervous around the mastiff. You can tell that. I know you don't even need to roll an insight check. She's obviously a little, skittish around dogs, but she does, at least acknowledge you and is friendly enough towards you. So with that, if this is something that maybe you have a contact with her, later, why don't you roll a not a persuasion. What are we looking for here? You would think I would know all these checks by heart by now.
Perception or sight?
You're trying to be friendly with somebody. So
sounds like persuasion to me.
Yeah, be how to make friends and whatever. So yeah, roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion. No.
Let's see some of that gnomish charm. All right.
It's headed.
Well, so explain to us how Mr. Eldon the Smooth attempted to say hello to this female, this taller human who's praying towards this god, and let's see how well that went, real quick.
Channeled Steve. That sounds like it. Hi.
Hey, you see, because I'll interrupt and tell you kind of how I envision this. As you reach up and you get done with the morning ritual, and as you say, you're trying to say hi, you kind of stammer over yourself, and you end up like stepping on Orin 2's foot, who ends up growling at you. You trip over her, fall into her, kind of just this mess of just, you fall into her shins basically, and she just kind of gets a little weirded out, and she kind of says, well, nice, see you around. I've got to go stuff, and she kind of wanders off. But you at least made a memorable impression upon this lady. Maybe not a good one, but a memorable one.
Yeah, I feel it. Those were nice. So both Orin and I will head back to town with our tail between.
Did you fall into some wild magic again to get a tail?
Proverbial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be casting much magic lately.
Yeah, they say there's eyes everywhere, and ye old Mole Master, the friendliest place on earth.
Yeah, and I don't even think guidance would have helped me out of that. It just come off as me touching my.
I'm willing to bet.
All right, so that happened.
All right, I'm trying to get you. I'm trying to get you a card here for your Mastiff.
Okay. I'm just using the one I have my more better one.
Oh, you already have one?
Well, no, I don't have one in the game on the sheet. I don't have a character for it, like Hoot Hoot or where's the horse? Dazzle.
Okay, so you went through, and you were also trying to find some magical wearers, and you asked around. And as we determined, there's a kind of a prohibition of open spell casting, arcane spell casting in the city, and you realized that it was under lock and key, under lockdown from the Brotherhood of the Cloaks. I believe that you found out through some of the carousing that both Raziel and Eldon did, that spellcasters, if they are caught, are tending to be pressed into service of the Brotherhood. If not, there could be some stiff repercussions. They could be taken into custody, judged quite severely. I think that we've talked about that. If not, you're hearing it for the first time. Through the, I think it's called the Edict of Arcane Banishment or something.
Okay.
And that may have been in some of the information that Raziel had in that book that I sent him. But anyway, you were able to inquire about this, and we'll say on the second day, your contacts came through, and you had found a buyer or a seller of some magical paraphernalia. Where do you think you would have met this person? At the shop, at one of the inns?
I'm actually looking now. What is that?
And what? Go ahead.
Ox Pit Tavern?
Ox Pit Tavern. I know that's on the map somewhere. Is it number 5?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking up. I'm like, somewhere in the vicinities,
Right here.
Yep.
So right down the street. Okay, so let's say that you set up a meeting place over there at Ox Pit Taverns. Is this something you would have told the group about?
I might have, since Corin was also kind of looking around, I might have shared with him that I'll keep an eye out for anything. And then I might have a meeting, so.
All right, so Corin, is that something you are interested in partaking in?
I will tag along, yes, to see if he has anything that I would want to buy, or knows somebody who could sell it to me.
Okay. Alrighty. So,
I mean, was everybody? I mean, I know we did. Corin and I kind of spoke out about our hunt for other things. Was anybody else looking around for things?
I wasn't.
What about Siona?
No, I'm not.
Nope. All right.
Okay. And we'll assume Thongra was busy being master.
Okay. So you make your way into this tavern. Is anybody else joining this pair? Siona or Raz?
I don't think so.
Nope.
All right. So you guys make your way to the Ox Pit Tavern, and again, it's not as posh and swanky as the Traveler's Cloak, but you can tell it is well traveled and well frequented by people within Mulmaster. You come in, and there's just this smell of, it's not stale ale, but it's a pervasive scent of ale through there, and it's kind of a raucous thing. You see, there's plenty of patrons at the bars, and some people are being led behind cloth curtains into some more private areas. You kind of get the feeling that there are some less than there was some shady dealings going on that aren't necessarily, blind eyes are turned towards it, but they're also, if you could say, they're also kind of protective of it. It's like it's the well-known secret that there are some places, this is a place for some deals to go down. So you walk in. Now, did you, and since Eldon is the one who has put this meeting together, did you have any kind of code word or any type of signal like, hey, I'm going to show up in red vinyl, I'll be that guy? Okay, so we'll just kind of walk in, and are we going to assume he's like, caca?
Yeah, something on the order of a password, I suppose, if that seems necessary for them, because I would be kind of noob in the area, kind of, I don't know, I'm just trying to find something and be inconspicuous about it.
All right. Corin, roll me a perception check, please.
Perception, okay.
Yeah. Again, seeing all the things. So you would spy, at a booth across the way. You're always being on the lookout for kind of things that are a little shady. And you see this dark-skinned humanoid figure with this long white hair kind of eyeballing Eldon. Kind of as he walked in, you get the sense that Eldon was marked almost immediately.
Okay, well, I'm going to point out, hey, Eldon, I think that that person over there might be who you're looking for, because she's intent on looking at you. Or he, I think I missed the gender.
I'm not sure I said, but
I might be thinking back to the person he met in the woods.
So we'll go with female. Why not? So these dark blue eyes and this dark gray skin, and offset by this long locks of flowing silvery hair. They're kind of as inconspicuously conspicuous as a person could be in this tavern. But yeah, so Eldon looks up and kind of makes eye contact, and you see that this person is staring you down. So kind of as a come hither, but not so sultry.
I guess I'll walk that way.
All right, Corin, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow him. I won't try to hide.
Okay. So you walk up to this table, and this elven person And I can tell by the way that your stature, little man, little one, if I would, that perhaps you are the person who's been seeking some goods. Is this true?
Yes, I believe you fit the description I was given to come here and find you, yes.
Ah. Well, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Treya, and I am a reputable dealer of this certain well-sought-after artifacts in this fine town. As I'm sure you are well aware, I ask few questions, as I expect the same. But betrayal is not one that I suffer. So, basically, I respect you, you respect me, ça va?
Ah.
Yes. So, our contact told me you were looking for a few things. Now, they are some pricey items, if I may speak so plainly. So I looked, and I was able to come across a few items for you. And you see her kind of eyeing the crowd, just making sure nobody's directly in sight. She invites you to sit down at this booth that she's in, and kind of hands down. It's a wooden table, kind of high back. Kind of a solid booth here, and to the entry you can have this cloth, another cloth curtain, kind of a rough burlap that you can slide closed for as much privacy as you could expect in a place like this. But she motions for you to come and sit down at her table.
Okay, I'll jump up onto a chair.
All right. So as she closes this burlap, the burlap curtain, she rifles in her sack and brings out a few items, just again to show you the goods, if you would. And she pulls out what you recognize as a handy haversack, and notices that there are a couple of cloaks, and she has a few, and she pulls out a couple of charms, but I believe that you were looking for this handy haversack, and now it took me some trouble to find, and that these are not common items, as you know. And I found a few charms that you specifically requested, and then I have another charm here that I could not readily identify. But if you want to speak numbers, we can. But there, again, some of these, your handy haversack is quite pricey, and judging by the looks of you, and I'll just speak plainly, probably a little outside of your price range. In this, she kind of laughs at you. A cloak of displacement. I'm not even going to entertain this with you. I know you can't. Afford that. You can see that she's kind of judging you, sizing you up fairly well. So, do any of these items interest you at all?
Well, since you seem to know what I can afford,
I could be wrong.
how about let's hear some prices and see what we can.
So, the haversack, normally I charge, it's normally about a 3,000 gold finder's fee for these. But since this is your first time with us, I'll say 27.5.
Interesting. It's gonna. I'll have to look at what other items you have as well to see if I can afford all of it. What did you say you had? You had you had another cloak. Did you have a cloak of protection?
I do. Those are a little easier to come by.
Yes, I imagine the displacement is probably, I'm going to guess, beyond the price, a bit beyond the price of the handy haversack. Correct?
Oh, by at least fourfold.
Oh, yes. Probably not going to buy both of them. So what? Let's see. Did you say you had the? So what? Now I'm trying to remember all the things you said you had. Boots. You had the cloak. So the cloak of protection. How much was?
The Cloak of Protection, it's 650 gold. And the charms, I believe, looking at your vestments and everything, I see that you are a cleric, and so we do have a cleric's crest here. I'll make it an even 700 for that. A holy spark is 100, and this unidentified charm, I guess since I can't put my finger on it and it could be quite valuable, I'll say 300 for it. And I've got a few of those in the sack as well. Corin, roll me another perception check.
Okay. Not quite so good that time.
Not so much, but you do happen to catch as Thea is rifling back into her satchel and her sack. You happen to catch, there are several scrolls bound up in there, and you catch the glimpse of, this darkened lens, but you don't see too much more of it.
What is this?
So, these are the items that I've been able to procure so far for you. And what did you say your name again was?
Me? I'm Alden.
Alden. Okay, Alden. It's a pleasure to meet you. Maybe we can do business here. But speaking of business, I mean, I've got another customer meeting, another client that I need to meet up with here soon. And so I hate to rush you. Well, no, not so much. I have what you want. Do you want or not? Otherwise, you contacted me once. We can meet up again at some point. And for your tall gentleman here who's somewhat staring me down uncomfortably, may I help you with anything while your small friend here decides?
Well, I'm a little curious about that black lens thing you got in there, because I'm looking for some help seeing in the dark, and that may be what I'm looking for. Test. Fail.
No. I see. I think this might be what you're looking for. Some night goggles, night shades, if you would.
That is what I'm looking for.
I might have one of those if the price is right. I mean, I've got let's say 300. Call it square.
I believe I can arrange that. What else you got?
I got some scrolls here. Again, a couple of unidentified charms that I'm willing to part with for 300 each.
Anything on the more, how do you say, illicit side of things? Like if I did not make my living in a honorable manner?
Well, as you say, you know what? Roll a persuasion check for me. You know what? I don't know what it is about you, but I like you. So I'm going to Now, this is going to seem odd, but you might just really appreciate this. And she rifles through her bag and pulls out this scroll spell, this scroll, and looks at you and says, "This is a lesser-known scroll, but it's nothing bad. But it's got some interesting uses for it, and allow me to tell you a little bit about it. It's called the Scroll of Storage, and it has two parts. When you place an object, and it's got to be, say, about a foot cube. When you place it on top of this large scroll, you can read the action words, and the object vanishes and becomes an illustration of itself on the scroll. And then, when you read the second action word, the scroll vanishes, and it becomes a chicken. Then, when you want to get your item back, you cook the chicken, and the item will appear in front of you. It is a crazy way to sneak items out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with you on the crazy part.
But nobody will expect it.
Eldon, does that interest you at all? Because
not unless it's a look around before I say it. Not unless it's a ritual. Repeat.
yeah, I think I might pass on that one.
Okay, well, suit yourself. I have a scroll of, let's see, Rary's telepathic bond. I have no use for it, but I have one. I have an Origami Aberration scroll, which allows you that it folds up in this little tiny orb and floats around with a single eye, and then you can have it and you can tell it to cast one spell of either Acid Splash, Ray of Frost, Burning Hands, or Dispel Magic. And once it's done, then the little orb poofs away in a flash of fire. But other than that, this is about all I had prepared for you.
What are you going to be buying, Eldon?
I'm working out the math on it. Doesn't look like I can do the haversack to get another cleric's crest. On Cloak of Protection, I'm definitely to be interested.
That's a good choice. Good choice.
That leaves me essentially 2,900. Mean I couldn't get a cleric's crest and the haversack, and I do believe the cleric's crest, and then I'll also pick up one of these sparks.
What is the cleric's crest?
That's my. I get half my. What was it? I get my
Divine Channel
Yeah.
Divinity.
Channel Divinity. It's kind of the. This will be great in an emergency charm.
Well, how much are you short for the haversack? I might be able to loan you a few.
That'd be about. Let's see. I gotta do math.
You're at 1,500 for the other three items right now, and the haversack is right at 2,750.
Yeah, I wouldn't get the Holy Spark if I can get the haversack. So looks like total is 3,250, 3,810, and I have 34 and some change. So I'd need about 400.
Okay, well, I will spot you that 400, and I will buy the goggles for 300.
Well, very good. Very good. You want to take a chance on one of these unidentified charms?
No. I am interested, though, if you know anybody else who might share your line of work.
There are a few of us hither and thither, every so often. You just need to be able to reach out and make a few calls. I will tell you that while magical items are not necessarily forbidden, sometimes things happen, and different guilds and different people get upset when perhaps they find one of their own items on the market. So, as I say, sometimes things happen, and these are all clean items, I promise. But other less reputable people may not be so forthcoming.
Well, if you can, I am in the market for some gloves of thievery or a headband of intellect. If you could point me in the right direction or acquire the items yourself, I can get you a finder's fee for the first and buy it from you direct for the last. Assuming the price is right.
Okay, well, let me see what I can do for you. Headband. All right, and you see her as she's flipping up her moleskin notebook and writing some notes down. And what name can I put on this?
You can call me Corin.
Okay. Corin, that's a C-O-R. Got it. All right. With Alden. Got it. Very good. I will keep an eye out for that. And I will leave a message here at the Ox Pit in case I am able to inquire and locate some of these items.
All right. Well, I'll come back in a few days and check on that.
Oh, very good. Very good. Well, fine gentlemen, thank you for your business. If there's anything else, or if there's not anything else, I do have another client that I must attend to.
Thank you very much. Pleasure doing business.
Very good. Now watch your back. This is not the best place. All right. So
where did the money section go on the bag of holding? I can't find it.
It's on the equipment tab. There should be a sack with each person's.
Oh, okay, there it is. I see it. I'm down 700 from that.
And I put an IQ in mine. So.
All right. So Thongrim, while they're dealing that, what's up?
So that's an official exchange, and we've done all that.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, I'm not the only blind person anymore.
Where are you guys at the party, or
No,
what?
we're at the bar.
We're
just randomly to see. Is this your downtime thing?
This was just downtime. Yep.
Then I'm just doing shop stuff and training the new staff and things like that. Nothing fancy, or waiting for the day we're going to the party.
Okay.
Seems like everybody else is going to be trainable.
All right. So Chris, what's going on? Can you still hear us?
No.
Oh, well, you know what? He's not. Wait, there he is.
Thank you, Cole.
Well, let's see. Do we need to change the server maybe on the Discord?
I can do that real fast. Hold on.
I want to make sure that he can hear us before we move on.
Thank you. Test.
I can hear you.
Hey, yeah, I'm having some internet connectivity issues. I'm up. Restart my router for a second, or restart my modem.
Okay.
I've also moved the server just to
Just to
rule that out.
Okay. Alrighty. So we'll wait for him before something else comes on. Regarding... Sorry, but there was an announcement in my house, and I didn't think y'all needed to hear it. So I know that Thongram was... we were looking at the shop, and he's going to work on drawing up a map of this. Perhaps we'll have a base of operations by next week to work out of. Yes?
Yes. There's a 50% chance that I might miss next week because of the Final Four, but I'll let you know.
I see your priorities.
Goddamn right.
Yep.
Okay. But if I go up for that, if I go up for that, then the game's on Saturday, game's on Monday. So unless I bring my laptop and play in a hotel room, it's probably a chance that I won't be able.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to do that. Just keep us posted. All right. So is there anything else anybody wants to do during downtime but before we move forward?
No from us.
All right.
And for the record, Lindsay had a phone call, so that's why she's not talking.
Okie dokie. Let's see here. You know what? I did have something for Thongram. This was a couple of days since we've been going on. As you discovered, as you're cleaning up the shop and getting things in order, you discovered a mysterious kind of leather pouch hidden under some floorboards. You were trying to put some things together, but you found 15 gold in there. It looked like somebody was trying to hide a stash.
Is that everybody's name on it?
No, it just looks like a crunchy, crusty leather sack. The little ties are kind of looks like they've been chewed on a little bit. It's rustic, if you would.
Does it look like it's been disturbed recently?
Not in, maybe not in the last week or so.
Oh, I mean, it's not like it's been there for 100 years or something.
No, I mean, you don't see any like Blue-Eyed Billy type, crests or anything or lore. It just looks like somebody was trying to siphon off some stuff out of the till. That would be your guess.
I'll put a note in there that basically says something along the lines of that if this was taken from the till or something, then consider this the warning of the previous administration, and that theft will be met with dire consequences going forward, and that if they need money or loans, to come and talk to me about it. And then I'll just put it back.
You're a mighty nice manager. You're a lot nicer than I would have been about it.
I'm not gonna get the business off the ground if I run away, everybody.
All right.
But I will instruct, I guess if I'm not there, whoever I've put in second in command and stuff, I will, instruct that, we need better receipts and better monitoring for the incoming and outgoing expenses to try and make sure that we don't have any loss prevention going on.
Okay, that sounds good. All right.
Test.
All right, you there? I hear you.
Sweet.
Okay, so moving on. The night of the party comes, and this is going to be, like I said, as you walk up to the estate, she was Miss Astrid Saj was not. She was not mistaken when she said this was going to be the party of a lifetime. You get there, and there are paper lanterns of all different shapes and sizes. There are minstrels of varying types, of varying genres, from folk ska to folk pop of the time. There's, some brass instruments, some mandolins. You see waiters in the finest attire, varying races, handing out hors d'oeuvres and little cream puffs and desserts and drinks of all colors and shapes. It just seemed, and again, what she was saying, that this was going to be a party for the people, and you can tell no expenses were spared. Spared no expense, if you would. And so it was open to all, and you guys, you get up to the main gate, and you show this your invitation, and the hosts and hostesses, they see it and they wave you right in, all smiles, and hand you a drink, and you guys partake in the food and the revelry. It's quite a spectacle. I mean, there's see these wild banners up and down the manors, of green and purple, the liveries and golden gold adornments. As you walk through, the different scents of roasted pork and these different spices and chutneys and just anything you can imagine. It's just wild what you guys see. And you see, there's opportunities of seeing the different citizens of Mulmaster, the wealthiest nobles, the lowliest beggars, and they all seem to be trying to one, get to know each other. They're eyeballing people. It's for the people watchers. It's kind of opposite of what you've seen and heard about this city of danger so far. In that, you see everybody's on the lookout and always looking out for themselves and trying to scrape together and make sure that they are the best that they can be at the expense of everybody, really anybody else. But at this party, it seems a little different than that. People are trying to hobnob, get in good graces. The glimpses that you get of Mistress Saj, she is elbowing, hobnobbing with the best of them, trying to obviously get her name out there, and with the intent of hopefully becoming one of the nobles of this city. So anyway, as that, you're wandering around. Any questions? Anything comes to mind?
How many of, now that we understand a little bit about the nobility, how many nobles do we even know the difference between, what the nobles look like, what the swords look like, what the cloaks look like, not the swords, the blades, what the cloaks look like, all that?
You haven't really had enough time to really ascertain the visual differences of it. The cloaks are a little more known because most of them have this, they're wearing cloaks of some form. Let me make sure here. You notice obviously they have these gray woolen cloaks on, and you get you observe many of them as you see them are all wearing these similar brooches that kind of clasps together to keep the cloaks on it, at the center of their chests there. Raziel being one who's akin to that, or notices and observant of that, you would say, okay, these guys are probably cloaks, members of the cloaks. Now, while all the brooches are similar, you do see some different, adornments and shapes of these brooches that may signify, higher ranks than others. As far as the nobility, you can tell the people who are wealthy as opposed to the poorer class just due to the quality of their clothing and even the coloring of it. More of the poorer classes are in the drab earthen colors, torn clothes, whereas the finer silks and the brighter colors tend to be the wealthier. Many of the Zor and Zora of the area, are not necessarily flaunting their jewelry, but they're not trying to hide it either. The blades, you see, many soldiers and people with their swords at hilts. Obviously, the guards are there. They are not trying to hide. So I think you would get the feeling for, who's part of the soldiery and part of the blades. The hawks you've only heard about. I don't think anybody has a good idea of them, although you would be willing to bet that some of the secret police are probably here at the party.
I guess we saw them. They'd be a bad secret.
Yeah.
Well, as somebody who, is always on the lookout for people who would catch me, would I notice anybody who looks to be paying more attention to, how do you phrase that, behavior than, like, not someone looking to hobnob, someone looking to, looking for intentions?
Yes, you do see, again, there are many of the guards you can tell are not there to hobnob.
But anybody who's not a guard. So I see any people who look like nobles who seem to be acting more like, there's no wire coming out of their ear, but along those lines.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. Roll a perception check, and let's see. Okay. So you have noticed, I'm not going to give you numbers, but you have noticed some people noticing other people. You catch some fleeting glimpses, and you notice some patterns starting to emerge as certain groups and individuals are flowing through the estate. That they're, I want to use the word triangulated, but that's not, what I'm saying. It's like, some people are following them, but not following them. You start seeing some patterns emerging, but you see no direct correlation in the garb and the attire that they're wearing, but more than the notion that you see some similar faces at the right times. It's more than coincidental that they are there.
Okay, well, having spotted them, I'm going to do my best to subtly stay away from them without making it look like I'm staying away from them.
Understood. Excuse me, sorry. What else?
Do we see, what's her name, the previous shop owner there, that she could introduce us to anybody or make, introductions to the movers and shakers?
Oh, good old Barbara. You haven't...
That's what her name was.
Babs, as we like to call her back in the good old days. As it happens, Barbara does show up what she would consider fashionably late, what everybody else would just call late. But as she enters in, she comes in, and she finally, she locks eyes with Thongram. Thongram, you wouldn't be wearing your finest Minotaur garb, would you?
I would not. I would probably be, I guess at this point I probably would have put on a shirt So it's sort of a
Wearing his casual Minotaur garb.
yeah. I mean, I guess I'm not Scottish, but I guess that's sort of how I always think. I always think I'm kind of running around in kilter shorts and nothing else. So I think it's sort of that same thing, like the formal kilt and formal nice shirt. You know, probably don't look like I'm in my element at all, but you know, being as this is all shopkeepers, I imagine there are a lot of hardworking people that are probably not used to putting on their finery.
Right. I kind of just, I know that this wouldn't be, but I imagine Thongrim, you know, kind of, but in this tuxedo T-shirt, you know, it's like, hey, I'm casual, but I like to party, you know. So anyway, but yeah, okay, that makes sense. So no horns or anything. So Barbara comes up and she's like, Master Thongrim, you clean up quite well. You can see her eyes brighten up when she sees you. It's like you're the reason why she's able to kind of get the hell out of this city. So she's thrilled to see you now that the transaction has taken place, and this is kind of, you get this insight from her, like this is her last hurrah before she gets out of here. Have you tried the canapes? They're great. And that little silky gray stuff, I've heard it's delicious. Have you tried it?
The gray stuff? I hear it's delicious.
That's what I hear. Well, we'll have to try it.
By all means, please, you know, after you. I've had a few.
Oh, well. I see that I'm...
Sorry for the hiccup.
It's okay. Obviously, I'm just now getting here. I need to, you're a few soldiers in front of me, so let me go ahead and go get a drink. And she kind of pulls you aside, pulls you kind of by the arm as she goes and gets a green cocktail off one of the passing waiters' trays. She's like, have you been able to find anybody here? Have you met anybody? I'm sure that you've already met Mistress Saj.
She stopped by the shop, and you know, we had a nice conversation. Of course, that's why I'm here. And I think I met I can't remember it. It's the guy who owns the tavern that's like a couple streets over. Been there a few times. I recognize his face. But other than that, you know, not too many people making introductions to the new guy, I guess. Probably assume I'm part of the help.
Ah, well, no. I'll introduce you to a few people. Where's your snooty friend? Oh, there he is. What's his name? Val Kilmer or something. What's his name again?
That's my better second-hand, you know, accountant, bookkeeper, assistant, helper. His name is Razio.
Ah, yes, Razio Kilmer. That's his name. Is he around?
Oh, he's never far away. This is more his element than mine. He may be meeting with the king by now, for all I know.
Ah, yes. Okay. Well, I hate that I don't have him right here, but she takes you around, kind of breaking character a little bit. She's taking you around, and she does introduce you to several of the local shop owners, and names not necessarily important here, but these areas here up and down the street, she introduces you to several of the shop owners and some of the people around there. She does point out to you, there's this gentleman in one of those woolen cloaks, as she doesn't want to interrupt him because he looks like he's busy, but she said, that gentleman right there, his name is Nelvin de June. He's a member of the Brotherhood here, the Brotherhood of the Cloaks. just watch out for him. He's not somebody you want to get on your bad side. But if there's ever a thing that you can do for him to get in his good graces, by all means, he would be a person to ally with, or at least not be on the bad side, as I already said. But she points out Mr. Dejeune, and she says, there she is, Mistress Saj, Mistress Astrid Saj. She's right there, and goes and just kind of elbows her way, pulling you along with her, and elbows your way into that little group and says, Mistress Saj, thank you so much for this 10-day, this party. This is such an extravagance. The people seem to be loving it. I certainly am. And you noticed, Thongrim, as you're with her, that she seems to have already thrown back two cocktails and is well on her third, and it's only been like 15 minutes. So she is definitely getting her drink on. But she says, have you met Master Thongrim, who has bought my fine establishment? And Mr. Saj looks at you, locks eye. Of course, and she looks at you and she gives you the feeling like you are the only person in the room. I have met Thongrim. I think we're going to get along swimmingly here. How's the party so far? Mr. Thongrim, have you had a few drinks? Have you had an opportunity to take a look at the wine fountain that we have out front?
I haven't seen the wine fountain, but I've, tasted quite the fare and ate my fill. This is quite the ordeal. It looks like you got nearly everything anyone could ever think of.
Well, we aim to please, and we intend to make each and every night even better than the first, and better than the last. I sincerely hope you are able to come each and every night. If not, I understand, but this is why we are here. The Saj we have great plans to invest in Mulmaster and to be a part of the city, both commercially and socially, and with great servitude. So please, if you ever run into anything you need, don't hesitate to come ask. Your shop is well within my area, and I'm always looking out for the fine people here in Mulmaster. And she kind of gives you that wink and comes up and gives you a side hug, almost like she doesn't even smell the barbarian of you. But you get this feeling that, she genuinely appreciates you as a person.
The 10-day party, is there different things going on different days? Is there like a theme or, a main event of each night that we should be looking forward to?
Well, that would ruin the surprise if there was, or if there's not. But we'll just have to see what happens. My party planners have spared no expense, and I've asked them to surprise me on 1 or 2 days, and they have yet to fail me. Because if they do fail me, well, so help me, that will be the last time. And she says that with just such a gleam in her smile that you're like, holy shit, this is a person I don't want to necessarily mess with. But maybe we'll see. Just enjoy the evening. And then tomorrow night, come on out and have another swell time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
What's everybody else been doing? Looking around there. Siona or Eldon, Raz, what's been going on? Or anything that y'all decide to partake in?
Raz will be enjoying some of the free finger food as he sees it, and introducing himself to some of the middle class, the shop owners and workers and people like that. So people more or less around his class level, not too much higher.
Okay. That's great. Do me a favor, please. Roll me a persuasion check. All right. So, while it's not going to be important for this particular thing, and through all of your carousing at this party, we're going to say that you have made 3 key contacts that seem to be, allied with you. You've become chummy with, and we'll figure some of that stuff out later. Maybe via email, but you have made good friendly contact and ties with at least with 3 people here at the party.
Okay.
What's Sienna been doing?
I've had Lindsay still on the phone with some friend emergency stuff, so I'm guessing though that she would be kind of hovering near a wall, quite uncomfortable. This is not her
Understood, and that does make sense. Trying to be as much of a wallflower as possible.
Yeah, maybe just hanging out by the buffet or something and nervously snacking on something or...
Okay. Eldon, anything in particular?
Well, while he's doing that,
No.
I guess Corin would be just kind of people watching still, not necessarily trying to talk to anybody. There went Gabe near Raz and been like, hey, maybe someone should go mention Steve to them. And then would have continued his just not quite casing the party, but casing the...
Gotcha. Roll me a perception check.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I had to disconnect and reconnect.
All right.
I could hear you. I just was talking and the mute wasn't on. You were saying, hey, you must be muted. I was like, no. Nope. Okay. Just general kind of carousing and drinking and partaking in the hors d'oeuvres and checking in with the others of our group. Maybe dropping by, checking that Siona's doing all right and all that.
Okay. You too. Roll me. You also roll me a persuasion check, and I want to get back to something that Corin mentioned afterwards.
Okay, and we know how those persuasion checks go for me. So
I know it'll be great.
Hey!
Hey! All right. You made 2 friendly contacts, and we'll deal with those later.
All right.
Thongram, you too. You've been hobnobbing a little bit. Roll me a persuasion check. There he is. Oh, hey, you got 3.
I didn't have my car thing open.
Well, if nothing else, this has been a good night for y'all to make contacts within the city, which is, I guess, the point of it all. So that said, I'm going to say one of the people that Raz met up with happened to be the owner of Hammer Home. And just you were able to introduce yourself as one of the new of the management of Bloodbath and Beyond, and introduced yourself to him. Anything in particular you'd like to talk to this person about?
He was wait, who? Me?
Raz.
Never mind.
He was able to hobnob and kind of end up meeting the owner of the Hammer Home establishment.
Home for wayward hammers.
As he mentions, he's the keeper, manager, whoever for Hammer Home. I kind of managed to prevent a spit take and go, "Oh, yes, I've heard of you. Other side of town. I've heard it's a good place. Good workers there. Strong work."
We do pride ourselves on the quality of our staff, and they are mighty strong, if you don't mind me saying. I see that you bought out good old Babs there and brought Bloodbath and Beyond. I have heard of your establishment out of Eldenburg. Oh, God, I forgot. Let me introduce myself. My name is Steve, and, well, I've been here in Mulmaster for quite some time, and as I overheard your friend saying, the wayward home for hammers, that's funny. You're a funny little man. But while we are direct competitors and, but we are all part of the Blacksmith Guild, I welcome you to our fine city. But just don't try to steal any of my clients, otherwise I might have to send some of my strong hammer-wielding folks to hammer some of you home. Ha ha ha! He throws back his dwarven chin, lets out a bellowing laugh. Ha!
Would I have been nearby to hear that?
Sure.
I groan.
That was a lot of lead up for that groan. You like a good laugh like the rest of us, you whatever you are. You tall drink of something. He looks up at you.
So yeah, well, if it came to a scrap between my shop and yours, it would certainly be a bloodbath and beyond.
Comedy! I love it! That is
I
right.
love it too. I wish I'd hear some, and I walk off.
What bug crawled up his asshole? He needs another drink or three, I say.
Oh, he's a good man. He just likes to keep a low profile.
I see. Well, sometimes it's good to have those in your employ. God knows I have one or two of them, and they don't appreciate my sense of humor either. But I'm okay with that. They get me what I need, and sometimes I don't even have to ask. Sometimes they bring me things I didn't even know I needed.
Oh, I understand. It's good to have people of reliable employ in your service. Especially as of late, the contracts have been coming in for the blades, and well, I'll tell you, running this business in this city has been no easy matter. I mean, we've done well so far, but we've stayed quite busy trying to keep up with the demand,
Do tell. The work that we've had with the blades has started to slack a little bit. You say you're getting a little bit more work in. You don't mind me asking, how'd you manage that?
Well, I don't know. It's the general manager of the store does bring decades of experience in. Actually, now that I think of it, it's probably closer to centuries of experience. And, it's the people of your kind, you tend to be very resilient in this line of work. And, well, what can I say? Master Thongrim knows what he's doing, and he runs a good clean shop.
It's good to know. Maybe I'll have to invite you over for some dragon dice and some ale, and we can talk shop. And he looks over at Master Thongrim. You be okay with that, buddy?
It's been a while since I've played dragon dice.
Me too. It's almost like I made it up on the spot. But that's okay. I have a mean dice throwing hand, and it'll be old tilt. Old tilt, I say. All right, so he bids you farewell. He's like, I'm going to keep on going here, but welcome to the party. Have a few more on me, and I'll swing by at some point, and I'll make good on that dice game. I'll be seeing you around, sir.
Good day to you too, Steve.
He tips his drink to you and kind of loses himself inside the crowd. All right. So, let's see here. So it seems like the festivities of the day and the evening have been going on with relative ease, rather peaceful. Only a few disorderly, drunken people, a couple of unskilled pickpockets that Corin kind of, he saw out of the corner of his eyes, looking at him with much disdain. It's like, oh, they're going to get got, and they certainly did get got as the soldiery made quick movements towards them. It caused a little bit of a stir, but surprisingly enough, they were able to keep it under control. And then it was, towards the end of the shindig, as night had well fallen, and the several of the fires were starting to dim, and the paper lanterns were starting to dim. People were starting to go home for the evening. And it was rather surprising at that moment that the loudest and most violent confrontation didn't involve any of the revelers, but instead it was between two of the servants that you had seen. People with passing out the food and all this. It seems that one of Mr. Saj's seamstresses, a young woman called Benessy, she surprised everybody by just brutally attacking one of the stable hands, who you had come to know as Larch. You saw her, you heard stories, and saw some of the commotion. And as it was, Corin saw this firsthand. This seamstress in her seamstress garb, as you would. You saw her just kind of go from zero to nothing as she brought out this this club and just smacked this stable hand right across the head, just boom. And you notice that the city watch was escorting him home. He was bruised, not only in body but also in ego. And so as you're leaving the party, Corin's just kind of telling the group offhand, it's like, that was crazy. What this lady just kind of, I don't know what, he must have said something or whatever, but she just took this club and got him right on the ear with it. I mean, God, just cringe thinking about it. And as you're making your way down the steps of the main entryway of the Saj Estate, you're approached by a man with a crooked staff and one of the brooches that Raziel identified earlier, and it, on this woolen cloak, and you see he's clearly a member of one of the cloaks, or a member of the cloaks. And as he walks up, he says, "I'm told that," looking pointedly at Corin, "I am told that you witnessed an attack on my brother earlier today. Perhaps you could explain what has happened." And Thangram kind of elbows the group and stage whispers, "This is Nelvin Dejun, who Barbara pointed out to him earlier."
What you see, what happened was... No, I mean, I was just standing there, minding my own business. I look over and suddenly, seamstress lady just got a cudgel out and is going to town on your brother. I didn't hear anything before that. I don't think he did anything to start it, but I wasn't really paying attention to them until, the shouting started.
And that's interesting, as he twirls, kind of twirls his mustache a little bit. He's looking at you and rolls he pulls out some dice and rolls at you. Well, that's certainly interesting. I mean, my brother's only 18. He's got a good heart. I can't imagine what he could have said. I mean, I love him, but man, he is a simple stable hand. I mean, he still lives with our folks. At one point, are you sure you didn't hear anything else or see anything that would have explained why he would have been attacked?
I just assume it was a lover's quarrel. That's usually what happens with people of this nature. maybe she didn't like something he said, and that set her off.
Well, that could be. That could be. I mean, again, I was 18. I was 18 once, and I mean, I've had my hand at saying a few things to the ladies that did not necessarily go too well. But then again, being on cloak business, it's also, well, I shouldn't say. But I've seen my fair share of dangerous people, and did you get a good look at her? Because I'd say most seamstresses I know, they don't really seem that dangerous.
I didn't even notice she was there until it happened, so she definitely did not strike me as dangerous looking, or even really worth noticing until it all went down.
So, well, I've been told, as I said, that you were in the area, and I'm not saying that you had anything to do with it. You were there, and I'm trying to. I look out for my family. I need to make sure that they are well taken care of. I've been in contact with my parents, and they have not seen Larch, according to the messenger. And I am a little concerned that he has not made it home. If I would, and again, I'm a busy man, and I'm currently on business. But I'm willing to pay you. You look like a gentleman who I might be able to partake of some services here. If I pay you, say, 100 gold to maybe go find him, or at least look and try to track him down, could you do that for me while I go also reach out to the soldiery? Now, I've made... He stops short, and he kind of looks at you. Can I trust you? Can I trust you?
Can I trust you? I don't know you.
And I don't know you. This is...
honestly, if the money's good, I have no reason to...
Well, my money is as good as gold is, and he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a satin pouch and clinks it a little bit and says, he tosses it up. This feels about right, and he tosses it over to you. What do you say? Does that feel right to you?
I believe it does, and if it makes you feel better, I've always found that the best way to get more money is to not betray the person who gave you money in the first place.
That's what I like to hear. Roll me a persuasion check.
Like you caught lying, even or called out lying. Oh, never mind.
If you saw the roll I had on my end, there's little chance. That's what I like to hear. You were right. So if you are able to do this, and here's the thing, I would call out to the blades, well, not to the nobles, but to the soldiery, but for reasons I can't get into, I'd rather try to keep this on the down low. So if you can find out what happened to him, and if you bring him back safely, I'll give you another 50 gold.
You want me to bring him back to the party?
He gives you... No, I would rather you bring him to my house, and he gives you an address, or tells you where it is.
Okay, and how much gold did he give me the first time?
100.
All right, well, I believe I can help you out in this matter.
Well, I appreciate this. Now, again, I know that we're new here, and it's a last-minute thing. But needless to say, if you take the gold and nothing comes out of it, and I don't hear a report, I may give your descriptions to the cloaks, and I'd rather not have to do that.
If you don't hear a report from me, it probably means something bad happened, and you should go ahead and put the word out anyways.
Well, now, if again, needless to say, and this is just what I would do, but I would probably go. I'd probably go find out more about this seamstress because she seems to have run off.
Really, the guards did not accost somebody and then let the accoster go free?
Oh, certainly not. So she must still be here at the estate. She must be hiding somewhere in here. But this is why I've hired you. You do what you need to do, and I will leave you to this, and I will look for a report as soon as, if this evening, come knocking on my door, or at the very least tomorrow as the sun rises.
I will get word to you somehow.
Very good. He tips his cane at you and the rest of the party members. Nods, looks at Thungrim as if he recognizes him from earlier, but doesn't say anything. And he shuffles off with his cane.
Is he leaning on his cane? Like he needs it to walk, or is it there for decorative purposes?
You can see that it looks like he's leaning on it a little bit. He's not super, maybe on the older end of 30, but he's got a slight limp to him, but it's not, hunched over on it. So he's putting a little weight on it.
All right. Well, I will turn to the rest of the group and be, who would be near enough to who have overheard.
I would say they're probably all kind of around you, mostly in earshot.
Okay. Well, I will gather everybody who's not otherwise talking to somebody together and relay what just happened. Be like, guys, I guess we said we're supposed to get in good with that guy, and here's our opportunity. Gotta go find a missing person.
So she was, I forget her name, the seamstress, she was escorted out of the party, and the stable hand just kind of disappeared randomly.
No, the other way around.
Well, it's halfway. The stableman was escorted out and then disappeared.
Oh, okay. I thought she was escorted. Got it.
No,
that makes much more sense now.
Yeah, Benessy is her name. So the stable hand was escorted out. You just found out that he never made it home, and they have not found the seamstress. They've been looking for her. It's suspected that she is within the grounds of the Saj Estate.
If video games have taught me anything, I need to press the button that highlights the footprints and follow the footprints through the party to the next objective.
Activate detective mode.
Yeah, Raziel hits the button to put on Witcher mode and looks around the estate.
You're wildly moving the right stick around, searching for something that's shimmering, right? All right. So, seeing as that hiding is probably more in Corin's wheelhouse, what would you do to find her?
To find her? First, I'd go find the guards and see if any of them actually bothered to restrain her. But I think that's more of a job for Raz. He's the talkative kind of person. Raz, I think someone needs to go find the guard captain, and if she got loose and was not restrained, I think they need the fear of Bane put into.
So yeah, I'll go find one of the nearby guards, just at one of the nearest doors.
Okay. So You walk up to him, and he's kind of sternly looking at you as you walk up. State your business.
Yes, sir. I don't mean to be a bother, but I fear there's some haste is required here. Mistress Saj has asked me to look into Benici. I'm sure you know who she is. She's looking for post haste, and we can't find her at the moment. So please, sir, if you'd be so kind, if you know of her most recent whereabouts, that would be very beneficial information to us at the moment, and I could relay that to Mistress Saj in a.
Well, what did you say that she did here?
Well, it appears a little scuffle broke out. This good lad named Lodge, he's a stable hand around. I'm not sure if you know him. Not many people do. It seems they got into a bit of a scrap, and he was escorted out, and we're looking into that as well. But we need to understand the nature of what broke out this conflict, and I believe Mistress Saj needs to have a word with this woman. It's quite important. This is a party. We can't have any of this happening at a time like this. I'm sure you know that. So it would be very good to find Madame Benici.
Well, I'm not good with all of the names of the people. But if she's not, clearly she's not a stable person, a stableman. She's probably over in the workers' quarters, over to the eastern wing there. He points over there. If Mistress Saj needs this, I have been told not to leave my post. But that's the workers are normally stationed over in that building.
Well, that's excellent. Thank you. We'll take a look into the matter very quickly. And come back and relay that to everyone that she's in the eastern quarter.
Well, I guess we will head that direction then.
All right.
At least I will. Y'all can follow me if you want.
Sure.
Is everybody going together? Big one happy family?
Sure. I'll tag along.
All right. So, Corin, I'm going to nominate you, being the person that you are. Roll me a, this would be a perception check. No, let's say investigation. Roll me an investigation check. Somebody pick.
Who's good at that? Because I'm not.
Nope.
I guess it's going to be me then.
We'll be working together, so you get a...
Somebody should have a high intellect, right?
No, that's the wizard's job. We lost the wizard. But I'm the highest, so I'll roll.
What are you, plus?
Okay. 2.
I'm plus 2. I guess working together.
All right. Are you touching him?
Oh, no.
Damn. Almost got you.
Working together for advantage, but not.
Okay. So as you go through, you find your way easily to the eastern wing, and you find out and discover that it is the servants' quarters. And you make your way in, and through some, you find out that there are several cooks and waiters and waitstaff and various people in working the party there. But as it so happens, you stumble upon a group of seamstresses that are there, and there's one sitting alone in the corner mending a torn cloak, trying to actively to not be noticed. And looking at this person, you see that she's a rather short and stout, but rather powerfully built human. And it looks like she has spent much of her time in manual labor.
Building those seamstress muscles.
Yeah. As you point out, it appears to be ill-suited for ill-suited for seamstress work.
All right, so what was her name again, guys? Beatrice
Benessy.
Benessy. That was close. I'm sure. Whatever. I'm trying to read Thongram's little
I know,
there.
me too. I don't get that one.
Seamstress for the band.
Nope, still don't get it.
I got it. Yeah. Thanks there, Rocket Man.
Sorry, every time you've said the word seamstress, I've literally repeated that word in my head.
I'm with you now.
All right, sorry, carry on. I got word ADD.
All right, so who wants to be the one to talk to her?
I suppose I'll walk up again. If Corin, you're pretty confident that it's her.
I mean, that does look like who I remember, right?
Yes.
Yes, I will follow behind, tell her that's the person, and follow behind him and walk up with her.
Knock, knock. Miss Benessy, is it? Benessy.
It's Benessy. Benessy. She looks up at you, rather guarded and clearly hostile. What is it you want?
Oh, no, nothing. I was almost going to come over here and give you a round of applause. I mean, I don't mean to be a peeping Tom, but I was taking a look at that wallop that you gave to Lodge, the little ruffian over there. And boy, I don't know what he did, but he clearly had it coming, and you gave it to him good, if I don't say so myself.
You saw that, did you? Well,
It was hard to miss.
I will say that he did deserve it, the bloody bastard. The way that he tried to touch me like that. I would have done it to him again, but people drug him off too quickly. What is it you say you're here for? Why are you here? And why do I sound like this now?
Oh, well, I've actually been meaning to have a talk with that Lodge boy. You see, he was supposed to do me a favor a few days ago, and he never made good on it. Little bastard, if I don't say so. So, quite frankly, I don't know what he did, but it sounded inappropriate and sounded like he got what's coming, so much appreciated. But yeah, it is a shame, though, that they just escorted him off for no reason. Where do you think he went?
Well, I don't know. Does it look like I care where he went?
Well, now I suppose he's not in the party anymore, and I guess that's good enough for all of us, isn't it?
Yes. She looks at you puzzled. I suppose.
Anyway, I've been meaning to collect a few silver from him for that task. Like I said, I do like when the deal is closed, and it's been on my mind. It gives me anxiety knowing that there's work to be done, and I don't like to procrastinate. So anyway, I'd very much like to find little bastard Lodge. The people who took him away, I didn't really get a good look at them. The guards. Did you notice them? Catch their names? Notice who they were by chance? Any remarkable features I might be able to look for?
No. And she looks away. Quite quickly. I did not. And you notice she got a good bit more reserved with that statement.
This might be suicidal. Who else is in the...
You take a look around. I mean, it's a smaller quarter, and the moment that she kind of barked at you as you entered in, you saw some of the other smaller seamstresses kind of like get all, whoo, and then kind of skedaddle out of the room. So there's not many other people in the room right now. Actually, it's y'all and her. So, fairly empty room. You might be within earshot of some people, but does that answer your question? Go ahead.
It does, and I'm currently looking at my cough spell book at the moment. And I feel a little bit of honey sticking to the bottom of one of my component pouches, and I kind of rub it around a little bit in my middle finger, and then with my other hand I go, "Oh, that's a shame that you didn't catch a good look at him. Boy, I tell you, it would be really cool if you did." Which is the trigger word for my suggestion spell.
I see. Well, I mean, it would be cool. Okay, so wait. Say it again. What was the suggestion?
Let's see, what was I asking? It's too bad you didn't get a good look at him. I would very much like to know what they looked like. It's a shame you didn't catch a good look at him and could tell us. It would be really cool if you did.
Well, of course I saw what they were. I mean, it was my brothers, for God's sake, that took them over to the city watchtower. But why would I go... Wait a second. What did you do?
Miss Benisi, have you been... Benisi, have you been drinking tonight? Don't mean to
I have not. I'm always this cordial to people. And it's Benisi. Benisi. What were you, born in a barn or something? Maybe sounding like John Mulaney? Benisi.
What, are you going to talk about your mother now for no reason?
Maybe.
Of course. No, I didn't mean to imply you were a drunkard. You just seemed... a very change of heart for some strange reason. I was just making sure that Miss Benisi was not enjoying too much of her Hennessy. That's all.
Well, I see. But...
Well, I for one thank you for that. And you know what? I think I'm going to give him a walloping too while he's at it. Little punk deserves it, don't you?
Well, you better get there quickly before they kill him. Damn. What? Why did I say that?
And kill him? Well, that certainly seems a little extreme. I wouldn't worry about that. Don't worry your pretty little head about that. He'll be fine. He'll sleep it off. It's, the city watch. They'll lock him up, let him out in the morning. Everyone will be fine. Don't worry about it. You should just enjoy the rest of the party. Why don't you have a drink, loosen up. Here, let me go get you one, actually. Thorgrim, could you get this young woman a drink, please?
Well, I suppose I do like to have my wine.
I think a glass of red will do you good.
All right. So we will see.
Thorgrim, that wine any day now. He takes his time. Don't worry about it.
He's in chat saying he's having audio problems.
I was just giving him shit.
Yeah.
We're all, everyone but me is having audio problems tonight.
I assume Thorgrim comes back with a glass of red. Well, like I said, don't worry about this Lodge fellow, right bastard that he is. Enjoy the party. The watch will take care of him, don't worry. Thank you again.
Yes. Well, as she's sitting there sipping her wine, do you guys do anything else, or do y'all wander off?
I'm going to definitely leave that room so we're out of earshot of her.
Yeah, I'm going to get the hell out so she doesn't think about what she said.
As you wander off, you hear her go, "Well, if that's a fine how do you do, but at least I got my drink out of it." So what are y'all doing? What's up?
There's probably nothing we could do to this drink to get more information out of her, right?
Well, given what she said, I don't think we have time to mess around if they're going to kill him. But then again, if her story turns out that
I seem to miss all that. I could hear Adam's side, and then I couldn't hear anybody else.
The gist was, she said her brothers took him away after she hit him for him trying to touch her.
And that her brothers took her to the city watch, or the watchtower, I guess the city guard's tower, sheriff's office, if you will. Is that right?
The city.
But then wouldn't that just put him right back with his brother who has us looking for him?
Oh, her brother's part of the cloak, not city
Are
watch.
the cloaks and the watch different? I thought the cloaks was the name of the watch.
No. The Benessy's brothers are the ones with him. The Larch's brother.
But if they're taking him to the city watch, isn't the name of the city watch the cloaks?
No.
Okay, never mind.
I thought it was more like the cloaks were more like Secret Service or something.
Yeah,
Secret police.
They are the ones that that control the magic of the city. They're the arcane watch. And the soldiery is the military, and the city watch are the people who washed out of soldiery school and couldn't cut it there, and they're a little lower on the totem pole, a little more free with what people can get away with based on what they get out of it. More thuggish than anything.
So based off what she said, her brothers are actually part of the city guard, and they're taking her to the city guard tower watch.
Yes. It's in a, and I probably should have said this, it's in a nearby or near a shrine of Talos, which is just on the western side of the city. For those of you looking at the map, and I would assume Siona would, be casing this since she's good at mappery, and she would notice it's probably 2 towers north of the storm gate on the western side of the city, wherever that may be. But it's to the west.
I don't see any gates in the west.
I am just noticing that too. So the book and the map don't necessarily line up, but it is what it is.
So do we book it over there, knowing more or less where it is on the main, like taking the main roads?
Yeah, I mean, it seems best to get there before anything bad happens. We can sort out who's actually to blame once we've put a stop to the whole murder thing.
All right. So that's what y'all are doing.
We will attempt to make a leaving the party gracefully exit.
All right. So like an exit, stage left. So yeah, you guys, I guess for what it is, you're able to, make your way out of the party, somewhat with haste, but not, disruptively so. And I'm assuming y'all are going to make your way over to the tower, right? So
yes.
We're going to say we're somewhere in this area, just for grins.
So, just a small point of order. If all the servants were in that back area, and nobody saw him and the brothers take him out, where exactly did the brothers take him out that nobody would have seen it?
Simply the other direction.
I mean, do we have any reason to believe that maybe he isn't taken out, or do we assume that he really is? I'm happy saying that we're going to the tower, and that's all above board. But if there's only one main entrance out of this and a servant's entrance or something, then
no, I don't think there's any. I don't think there's one main entrance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have no reason to doubt what she's saying, basically.
Correct. I finally understood your question. I'm sorry.
Sometimes I speak good English.
No, this was clearly a reception issue on my end.
I guess I would have assumed that my spell probably took effect and she was being somewhat truthful. Or I definitely would have assumed that.
Yes, I'll just tell you that was my assumption. So
Cool.
Tweet. All right. So y'all are moving y'all's way. Y'all are making haste to this tower. You get an idea of it, and you're asking people as you go, and you're directed, and you understand where this. People tell you, okay, it's over. They point once it gets in view. One of the city watch you make good with. They point and say it's right there. So. You see it comes up to it, and there's against the walls. There's the watchtower, and so the watchtower where Benessy's siblings are stationed looks like most of the other towers set into the walls surrounding Mulmaster, roughly 20 feet tall, providing access to the top of the city wall. There's a single door that leads into the tower from this side of the wall, and as you approach the tower, a strong gust of wind hits all of you, and it nearly knocks you all off your feet. Eldon, you almost topple back, but Corin, being quick with it, he's able to catch you with Siona, almost diving behind you to catch you from falling over backwards and being blown, away.
Well, that was strange. Was it just one gust and that's it?
No, it seems to be a continual gust of wind. It seems to be, it is strange.
But it's like it's everywhere else is calm, but right here there's a weird wind keeping us away from the building.
Well, we could, if somebody would like to look into this and roll me, you know what, Corin, roll me an Arcana check.
Okay. Gotta use magical skills to tell which way the wind's blowing.
Arcana, but magic's banned here.
Check, it's knowledge. He's looking back. He's not necessarily casting things. He's looking back in his novels and in his schooling and goes, "Hey guys, I'm pretty confident this wind is not natural." And
but magic's banned here.
Exactly. It seems to be coming from this tower.
What?
Okay, so
it's illegal.
So the cloaks, are the cloaks secretive, or are they kind of people know who they are?
Some people know who they are, but they are, I believe they are more secretive.
Do they have a uniform, like with, that we would know of? That
you noticed Nelvin's, he was a dark gray woolen cloak, thick, with one of those brooches that clasps across the breastbone, across there. And Raziel noticed, he's saying, okay, there seem to be, they're not like hiding themselves, but they are known to be kind of secretive in nature, even though you can see them. I mean, they are known to wear some of those darkened cloaks. Hence the name.
Okay, so guys, what are our plans here? Because I have an idea, but I want to hear what you guys think first.
I have no idea how we do this without front kicking in the door and guns a-blazing, but that's not a great...
Well, I'm kind of leading towards that, but in a different way.
Hit me.
Well, obviously this wind is not natural.
Whoa! Oh,
There's 2 guards inside.
Yeah, pretend y'all don't see that.
We did just come from a party with several for the merchants, and we are a new business in town, so we could always say we were sent here to, see about a shipment, what we could do to supply arms or whatever might get us in.
Yeah, but that's gonna, what merchant's gonna walk through a magical gust of wind? So kind of what I'm thinking is we bust in, but I will disguise myself as what's his name. And they have some illegal magic going on here. Oh, a cloak shows up with his, guards. We let Raz do some intimidation. We figure out what's going on and hopefully avoid a fight.
So what's the play? How do we intimidate?
A senior cloak walks into the room and is like, hey, what the hell's going on? More of us are coming.
Now, we're all dressed in plain clothes at this point, right? We're not all armored up for fight or anything.
I have disguise self, and I'm quite willing to sneak off and cast it. I'm sure I would imagine we put our weapons in the bag of... Well, do we have the bag of holding with... Do we need to run back and get our gear?
That's a good point.
I'm guessing we probably don't have our bag of holding. If our personal weapons are... What is the personal defense, the rapiers in Victorian France policy?
Carry city?
What's that?
Does this city have open carry, and would they accept people into a party all wearing weapons?
Well, there were enough soldiers at the party to kind of keep things in check. I mean, there weren't any weapons checks or anything. It's meant for one and all to be there. So there was a certain level of trust in society. And you could see, at least in this particular thing, as I said earlier, even though it's a rather evil city overall, it seemed to be everything kind of put on hold, and everybody was playing nice at this party. So, it was not unusual to have, for people to have their weapons with them. I am not going to say that, they were brandishing them at people, but, to have them at their sides and such, I don't think that was uncommon.
Well, let's say, how long would it take us to run back to our... it's going to be too long to armor up, but if we wanted to run back and grab weapons, it's be half an hour, 20 minutes?
It'd be across town. So if we assume that y'all don't have it, so let me put y'all back on that map.
We're probably carrying, I'd at least have some daggers on me.
Yeah, so if we're saying we're over here, and that's here,
Wait, where... Like I missed the first.
Over here.
We are.
Well, I'm going to say we're over here.
Party's up. Okay.
And that's where, it's...
And where's this tower? You're clicking on where the tower is?
Yeah.
That was north. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So I've got enough daggers to at least give everybody a dagger. Although I have a feeling that Siona won't want to actually use anything but her fancy axe.
So I'm just assuming you guys have your stuff with you, or with the sack.
Okay, but we wouldn't have any armor on. Get out, we're going to be walking to a party wearing, plate mail.
Yeah, probably not. So if you want to run back and get it, that's y'all's call.
I think that's too long. But we can definitely at least get our weapons and shield out. So do we want to run in going, or do we want to try and, use my plan to try to defuse it?
I think we should try to fuse if we're only 70% armed.
Wait, don't you have disguise self?
I have a disguise kit, which I'm proficient in, but that's about it. I don't have the clothing.
But you don't have the spell disguise self.
Actually, hold on. Did I take? I did not. No.
Okay, so I will be the one to act like a blade. They probably don't know what he sounds like, so I'll just
No one took the hat of disguise, the ferret-faced hat of disguise then, did they?
I have the spell, but that means it's in the bag of holding. Does it need attunement?
It does need attunement, so someone would have had to have taken it and spent the time with it.
Okay, so we go in, all look like, cloak guy. Try to figure out what's going on, why there's a magical spell going on, and what happened to my brother. And if things go south, we take it from there.
So the rest of us, you want us to stay like right outside the door in earshot?
No, I need to leave. I don't want to go in there by myself, but a couple of you guard the door, make it sound like, there's more of us out here. But if they have this magic wind going, that means they might have a spellcaster in.
Any one of us have thaumaturgy by chance?
I have prestidigitation.
All right, everybody's tokens should be on there. Put yourselves where you be.
Also, we should open the door.
What is next to Dazzle?
That's your Mastiff.
Oh, I don't have access to it yet.
Are you sure?
I'm clicking on it and not getting any. Oh, Orin 2 just showed up.
Now can you do it?
I still don't have access to the icon, but I do see...
You might need to recreate it.
Now I have it. I dragged it on myself.
Gotcha.
Okay. So you're saying my Mastiff is with me?
I assume.
So I was blown off of the Mastiff?
Yes.
You get that animal handling up.
All right, so what are we doing?
All right, so I'll go in. Thongrim, you come with me as my enforcer or whatever. Everyone else, right outside the door, assuming we get through the wind. And once I'm in there, make it sound like there's instructions being given to secure the building. Make it like it's not just the five of us.
I will hum you a little tune and give you inspiration.
And I guess we need there'll be a signal. The signal is, oh shit, that means come in.
It's a good safe word. All right, so we're good?
Yes, so I'm going to run before I go in. When I get up to the door, I'm going to cast Mage Hand, and I'm going to cast Friends on myself.
You're going to cast what?
Friends.
Okay.
Borrowing some of Raz's makeup from his kit.
Of course.
Okay.
I will even dress you up for you if you need it. Or do
I have Disguise Self going.
Oh, it's your component. Got it.
Yeah,
go for it.
All right.
All right, so as soon as I cast Friends, I'm going in.
All right. So are you knocking the door down? You knocking on it? What are you doing?
I'm just opening it up.
Ah, okay. Well, easy enough. So you open the door, which was not locked. The inside of the tower is sparsely furnished. The space is divided into a couple of holding cells, as well as places for the guards to rest, storage lockers for weapons and armor, and other places for official City Watch business to be carried out. At first, you see no one in the room, but then you notice two figures, both wearing City Watch uniforms, unconscious on the floor. They appear to have been struck on the head, but their injuries are not life-threatening. Along the interior of the tower, two curving staircases ascend to a pair of trapdoors in the ceiling. Those provide access to the top of the tower, which opens onto the top of the city wall.
Do the two guys on the ground bear any resemblance at all to Beyonce? Beatrice, whatever the hell her name is. Benessy.
They do not. No.
All right, well, I guess, oh shit.
I run in the door and say, nobody expects to spit. Hey, whatever.
Two things that we operate on, fear and surprise.
So this has already not gone according to plan.
Yeah, you got two unconscious guards kind of laying on the floor. Their heads are kind of bruised. They're, little blood trickling down their temples, but they seem to still be alive.
Are the cells open?
Yes, there is nobody in them. The cells are open.
Do either of the guards have keys on them?
One would assume.
So can I take the keys off the guards, put them in the cells, and then maybe throw some water on them to try and bring them back around and be like, we don't know how you got into the cells. When we walked in here, you were in the cells. And then just they wouldn't have their keys on them?
Absolutely.
Does anyone else want to run that plan by anybody?
No, that's fine. We don't know if they're in on it or not.
I'm good with
we'll
that.
Do that thing. And I guess we'll disarm them and leave their weapons out here and put everything inside and then try and throw some water or rations on them or something and bring them awake.
Okay. All right, so one in each cell or both of them in one cell?
Both of them in one cell is fine.
Cell.
I mean, one in each, I guess. Them. That's fine. We're not trying to... I mean, we really want to play off the, we walked in here, you were in the cells, I'm not sure what happened kind of thing.
All right. So you have done all those things. You have you stripped them, not of all their clothing, but their weaponry, everything you can find. You kind of put it neatly in a pile in front of them. You have the keys. You chink, chink, a satisfying clunk as the locks fall into place in these cells, and there they are.
Meanwhile, I'm going to go up by the trapdoor and just be listening.
Okay, so if you are moving up there, as you move to climb the stairs, several glyphs flash to life on both of the trap doors, and a powerful gust of wind bursts forth, knocking you or attempting to knock you down. Give me, everybody who is on the stairs, which would be Corin, give me a strength saving throw.
Well, that's not going to be good. Oh, never mind.
All right. So you managed to the wind caught you off guard, and you took a step back, and your foot catches the edge, and you almost temper back down the stairs, but you managed to stay strong on there. So if anybody else attempts to go up there, you too will also have to make a strength saving throw.
Can I look around? Look at those glyphs. Is there a way to make them not glyphs anymore?
Yeah, there you can. There's several different ways that you could probably ascertain to get rid of a glyph. You could probably try to destroy it, disable it, or try to use your Arcana skills to attempt to disable it.
Let's go with that one.
Okay. Explain what you... Yeah, when you do that, explain what you're doing.
I'm not sure what Arcana does. It's like, I'm going to know things that this thing's so hard, it's not going to work.
I'm going to think at this thing.
I mean, I guess how do you explain? I assume it just means I'm using like my knife I know how to disrupt the rune without setting it off.
That sounds good to me.
I don't think I knew it right though.
Well, as you you're pulling out your knife and you're starting to dork with the runes on there, you're able to the wind is kind of buffeting your hand back and forth, and you've got a pretty steady hand, but you get that, and you're able to get the knife in and disrupt the energy that's flowing through the runes just enough for it to dispel and kind of what's the word that where the energy wraps into itself and it explodes, it kind of short circuits a little bit. So as you do that, you see a small little poof of arcane energy as it escapes from this, and as soon as that, we'll call it, this bright blue flash happens, you've released the magic smoke, and the wind just immediately ceases.
Damn, Skippy.
All right, so you've made it to the top there. The trapdoors, the glyphs on there are no longer active. You still have the unconscious guards laying in the cells. I had not heard if anybody had actually thrown water at them or what.
I did not, because I was messing around with wind.
All right, so what do y'all want to do?
How high up is the trapdoor? It's like, was it 10-foot ceilings?
The tower itself is 20 feet tall. So I'd say you're on the second story?
Is it? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how high up is the stairs up to the trapdoor. So this trapdoor leads outside.
It leads up.
Knowing how tall the tower is, having looked at it outside, would I ascertain that this leads out to the top, or is there another floor?
No, you would absolutely go, okay, that's up. That's outside. So you're probably 10, 12 feet up. There's a small ladder that would lead up and out to the upper floor, but it's a pretty small guard tower. It's only 35, 40 feet wide, 5, 10, 15, 20, 40 feet wide. So I mean, it's not very large.
Right, so I will climb to the trapdoor and again just see if I can hear anything, even if it's just more wind.
You definitely hear wind at the top of it. There is something going on up there. You can't necessarily understand what's being said, but you do you do hear voices. You do hear wind. There's definitely something happening up there.
All right, so I will just kind of stage whisper down. Like, how loud is the wind? Like, if I were to talk, would I assume that no one would hear me over the wind?
I think if you talked in normal tones, yeah, you'd probably be fine. If you yelled, you might be heard.
All right, well, I will talk then in a normal voice and going ahead and casting message at Eldon so that, because he's furthest away, hopefully everybody can hear. Look, I don't know if we have time to interrogate these guards. There's something going on upstairs. I don't know if this has anything to do with Larch, but something's going down. You guys want to come up here now, or you want to...
Oh, sorry.
Do we want to...
Into the breach?
That sounds like...
Or, I just thought of this, I could climb the outside of the tower and peek over the railing and see what's going on.
You would have figured out on the outside. The wind is still blowing heavily outside. The wind just died down inside from the glyphs. You would have determined you would not have been able to climb the walls on the outside.
I have a mage hands and a movable rod, so I can climb anything. Alright, so scratching that off, so we're going to have a hard time getting up there quickly, so we need to come up with a plan.
I mean, maybe the original plan works, but you go first.
I think
Okay.
it sounds like something urgent's going on up there than trying to talk to these guys to find out what that urgent matter might be. Then we're just looking for... What's his name?
Larch.
Larch. We're looking for Larch. And we don't see him here, and these guys won't be able to help us quickly. Then I think we should probably follow Corin into the...
Well, I'm not going up there without you guys ready to come behind me. So if we're going to interrogate them, we should do it quickly.
We can be, like, on the stairs below you.
Yeah, the wind stopped inside, right? So we can safely walk up the stairs?
Yes.
Right, but you're looking at 10 feet of climbing plus all of the other stuff.
I mean, it might take us, if things get nasty, it might take us around to get up there where you are, but...
Okay.
Oh, these are stairs?
Yeah, no, those are
I mean,
stairs.
we don't have to. It's just on the case that they have something where they're like, hey, you're going up against this. Make sure you have this secret code word or something. It feels like it could be worth doing since we don't know how much else is up the tower, but I definitely don't want to do it at the expense of, losing the other.
Well, then wake them up and let's get this going. Things are happening upstairs. We don't have time to...
Splashing water.
What? That's what happened there.
Hey, buddy. We're trying to figure that out. We've secured the room for the moment, but when we came in here, you were unconscious in these cells, and I don't know what's going on. Do you have any recollection of what happened?
The last I remember, 2 guards came in, and they had prisoner, and now I'm here. I don't know. Why am I in
up this tower? Is there anything we need to be aware of? Any way we can identify ourselves as to the people up above? We're trying to go get you some help. You're in this cage, and I obviously don't have the key, so we're going to go try to get you some help. But we don't want to walk into a buzzsaw or come across these fake guards.
I only saw two. Two people and a prisoner. It had happened so quickly.
Do you guys have a daily shift word or anything?
Yes, three shifts typically. Three shifts. We were in the middle of our shift, so I just thought, and he's slowly coming to. I just thought he was bringing us a prisoner, and so we were going to lock him up in here. But apparently, we are now in here, and you have my weapons and my key, or you don't have. Do you have my key?
Everything is as we found it. We've been here, literally a minute. Enough time for my colleagues to go up the stairs and come back down. We're going to go try to find.
Come back down. Still dressed as what's his name.
I wish I could help, but I mean, we got to be able to tell our supervisors that something that this has happened. I can't. I don't. There's, as far as I know, there's only the 3 of them.
Nobody else is up the tower other than the 3 guards and you 2?
All I can say is it was just me and my brother Kyle here, and now we're in these cages. There was nobody else on top of the tower. I mean, that people walk through. I mean, this meets up with the wall, so we do have a steady watch that goes over. And the wall kind of goes like this, by the way. I guess I should have drawn that. I guess I should have drawn that the wall kind of goes like this. But this leads up to the top of the wall. I can't tell you if there's anybody else up there or not.
Okay. We're going to get help, and we will be back as soon as we can with hopefully the keys.
Thank you. Thank you. Be careful. There are glyphs up there.
Is there any way to get past them? Are there any others?
He looks up. He's like, I guess you've already found them. Nope, that was it.
Oh, is that what's made the wind?
Well, inside, yes. It's a failsafe to kind of keep people from going up on top of the wall. But I see you've already disabled it. So we probably need to look into that.
There was some wind outside, but when we got in here, the wind up the top of the stairs wasn't. There was no wind, so whoever did this to you must have done that. If it sounds like if they're capable of bypassing your system, they may be.
I would be careful.
Okay, we will come back. Good luck to you.
Please hurry. I don't like being in small spaces like this.
Here, have a ration and a bandage.
That's mighty kind of you.
Alright, so I guess we all go back up to that one. And if we're ready, I will poke my head through the top.
Okay, are y'all ready?
Sure.
Lead the way, Corin.
Alright, well, I, with as much confidence as I can manage, just barge through the top and stand up, look around.
All
Angry
right.
look on my face.
An angry look on your face. Okay, so you barge through, you've whipped the trap door open. And on top of the wall, you see this.
Is another wall.
It's more wall.
All walls all the way up.
All walls. Nothing but... Whatever, I messed it up. So you burst through the door. Corin pops up, angry look on his face, and he sees this. The unconscious form of Larch, bound with rope, lies at the feet of a man dressed in the black and gray robes of an acolyte of Talos, wreathed in swirling winds. If Larch wasn't secured to the top of the wall behind Iron Stake, it is likely that the whirlwind would have easily blown him from the wall. Between you and this odd scene are 4 burly humans, 2 of which are wearing City Watch uniforms, but all are similarly armed and armored. All of these sinister people have features similar to those of Benicy, the seamstress. As your group arrives at the top of the wall, the man within the whirlwind points at you. Talos demands that you kill the intruders who stand in the way of your vengeance, break their bodies and give them to the storm. This might be a good place to stop the session.
Probably.
So he was saying that to the 4 people next to him?
Yes, pointing at you.
Good disguise.
No, he's talking to his people. They say he's trying to kill the intruders, and he's pointing at
me.
Yes, at you in the disguise. I was trying the person who looks like Nelvin. Nelvin? Yes, Nelvin. So this guy is standing within a whirlwind. And you have 4 guards right here.
I didn't realize I could scroll down. I was waiting for the map to change.
Well, sorry. Yeah, scroll down.
I see it now.
Whoops.